A man who could eat his own body weight in a day, a woman whose sense of smell is revolutionizing medicine, and a mystic whose predictions continue to come true decades after her death. Throughout history, certain individuals have emerged who completely shatter our understanding of what's possible. These aren't myths or legends, these are documented cases that continue to baffle experts. Hello everyone, welcome to Wow Amazing. Today, we're diving into the stories of 10 of the most unique individuals who've ever lived. Before we begin this incredible journey, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more fascinating stories that will leave you amazed. Let's begin with our first extraordinary individual. Number 10, Kim Peek. Imagine being able to read 2 pages of a book simultaneously, one with each eye, and remember every single word. Sounds impossible, right? Well, that's exactly what Kim Peek could do. Born in 1951, Kim had a fascinating condition that made his brain work in ways that scientists are still trying to understand. The remarkable thing about Kim wasn't just his memory, it was the sheer scope of what he could remember. Think of him as a human Google, but with an even more impressive database. Kim could recall the content of over 12,000 books, word for word. That's like having an entire library stored in your head. But unlike a computer, Kim didn't just store information, he understood it, made connections between different facts, and could answer complex questions about virtually any topic he'd read about. But there's an interesting twist to this story. While Kim could remember practically everything he read, he struggled with simple tasks like buttoning his shirt or finding his way around a room. Kim's abilities were so extraordinary that he became the inspiration for the movie Rain Man. But unlike the fictional character, the real Kim Peek was even more remarkable. He could calculate which day of the week any date fell on throughout history, tell you every zip code in America, and even recall every major historical event on any given date. Number 9, Prahlad Jani. Prahlad Jani was an Indian yogi who claimed to have lived without food or water for over 70 years. Now, before you click away, thinking this is completely impossible, let me tell you why this case fascinated scientists worldwide. In 2010, a team of doctors decided to put Jani's claims to the test. They placed him under strict 24/7 surveillance in a hospital for 15 days. No food, no water, and constantly monitored by cameras and medical staff. The results left the scientific community scratching their heads. During the entire observation period, Jani didn't eat, drink, or use the bathroom, something that should be physically impossible according to everything we know about human biology. The doctors conducted various tests, monitored his vital signs, and found that he remained perfectly healthy throughout the study. While many scientists remained skeptical of his claims, the fact that he survived the controlled study without showing signs of dehydration or starvation created quite a stir in the medical community. Some researchers suggested that Jani might have accessed an unknown form of energy that science hasn't yet discovered. Number 8, Michael Winslow. The human voice box can typically produce a limited range of sounds, but Michael Winslow shattered those limitations. Known professionally as the man of 10,000 sound effects, Winslow transformed his voice into a one-person symphony of sounds. From the screech of electric guitars to the roar of jet engines, from gunfire to the beeps of R2-D2, Winslow's vocal abilities transcend normal human capabilities. Born in 1958, he developed this extraordinary talent during a lonely childhood, entertaining himself by recreating the sounds of his environment. The most remarkable aspect of Winslow's ability lies in its precision. He doesn't just approximate sounds, he replicates them with such accuracy that audio engineers have difficulty distinguishing his vocals from the real thing. His performance in the Police Academy movies brought this talent to worldwide attention, but the true scope of his abilities goes far beyond comedy. Musicians have been particularly amazed by his capacity to recreate entire instrumental solos, complete with the subtle nuances of different effects, pedals, and amplifier settings. He's performed with various bands, essentially becoming a human synthesizer. Scientists studying Winslow's abilities discovered that he uses parts of his vocal apparatus in ways previously thought impossible, essentially turning his voice into a living instrument. Number 7. Daniel Browning Smith. The human body has natural limits. Or at least that's what most people believe until they witness Daniel Browning Smith in action. Known as the Rubber Boy, Smith possesses a level of flexibility that defies medical understanding. Smith can dislocate virtually every joint in his body at will and suffer no ill effects. He holds multiple Guinness World Records, including the title for the most flexible person in history. His spine can bend in ways that would cause severe injury in others, yet he maintains perfect control and stability. The medical community has studied his condition extensively. Smith has a rare combination of hypermobility and extraordinary muscle control. While many people with hypermobile joints face chronic pain and instability, Smith's unique physiology allows him to control his flexibility with remarkable precision. His performances include squeezing through unstrung tennis rackets and bending backwards to drink soda from a can on the floor, placed behind his feet. Number 6. Baba Vanga. In the mountains of Bulgaria, a blind mystic named Baba Vanga became one of the most enigmatic figures of the 20th century. After losing her sight in a violent storm as a child, she reportedly developed an ability that would perplex skeptics and believers alike. Vanga's predictions ranged from personal matters to global events. What made her particularly remarkable was the specific nature of her prophecies. She described future events with precise details that often proved eerily accurate, according to her followers. The Bulgarian government, intrigued by her abilities, placed her on the state payroll and studied her predictions. Scientists who investigated her case noted that her accuracy rate appeared significantly higher than chance would allow, though exact statistics remain debated. Despite her lack of formal education, Vanga demonstrated knowledge of subjects and events she seemingly had no way of learning about. She would describe details about visitors' lives before they spoke a word, leading many to believe she possessed genuine precognitive abilities. Number 5. Tarare. Medical records from 18th century France tell the extraordinary tale of Tarare, a man whose appetite defied all natural laws. Born around 1772, Tarare's condition manifested during his teenage years, transforming him into one of the most medically puzzling cases in human history. The numbers associated with Tarare's eating capabilities stretched the boundaries of belief. By his teenage years, he could consume his own body weight in meat within a single day. Military doctors documented him eating a meal intended for 15 people in a single sitting. His constant hunger drove him to explore increasingly desperate measures to satisfy his endless appetite. The medical community of revolutionary France was completely baffled. Dr. Percy, the chief surgeon of the military hospital where Tarare was studied, documented that his patient's skin would become warm and his cheeks would flush as he ate. His body would visibly distend, but within hours he would be searching for more food. Even more remarkable was his ability to eat things that would kill an ordinary person, including live animals and non-food items. What made Tarare's case particularly fascinating was his physical condition. Despite consuming enormous quantities of food, he maintained a surprisingly normal weight. His body temperature ran unusually hot, and he would break into profound sweating episodes. The most striking physical features included abnormally soft, almost translucent skin that could stretch to extraordinary degrees, and jaws wide enough to fit a dinner plate sideways. The French military attempted to utilize his unusual abilities, training him as a spy who could smuggle documents by eating them. However, this experiment ended in failure when Tarare was caught by Prussian forces and nearly executed. After this incident, he returned to France, desperate to find a cure for his condition. The medical mystery of Tarare remains unsolved to this day. Modern doctors speculate he might have suffered from a combination of hyperthyroidism and damage to the amygdala, but no definitive explanation has ever been found for his extraordinary condition. Number 4. Harnaam Kaur. Born in 1990, Harnaam Kaur's story revolutionized modern perspectives on beauty and gender norms. Diagnosed with polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, at age 12, Kaur began experiencing facial hair growth that would typically prompt medical intervention. Instead, her journey led to a profound transformation in how society views feminine beauty. The medical aspects of Kaur's condition are particularly fascinating. PCOS affects the body's hormone balance, specifically increasing androgens, male hormones that typically appear in small amounts in women. In Kaur's case, these elevated hormone levels resulted in hirsutism, causing her to grow a full beard by her teenage years. The psychological impact of her condition initially led to severe bullying and multiple suicide attempts. However, Kaur's transformation from victim to advocate marks one of the most remarkable aspects of her story. At age 16, she made the groundbreaking decision to stop all hair removal treatments, embracing her natural appearance despite intense societal pressure. Her impact on medical and social perspectives has been profound. Medical professionals now regularly cite her case when discussing the psychological aspects of PCOS treatment. She became the youngest woman in history to have a full beard, earning recognition from Guinness World Records. But beyond these accolades, her influence extends into challenging fundamental assumptions about medical normality and treatment protocols. Most significantly, Kaur's advocacy has transformed medical approaches to PCOS treatment. While doctors traditionally focus solely on controlling or eliminating symptoms like facial hair growth, her case has prompted many medical professionals to consider the psychological and social aspects of treatment options. She's collaborated with medical institutions worldwide, helping develop more holistic approaches to PCOS management that consider patient choice and mental well-being alongside physical symptoms. Number 3. Lord Byron. Lord Byron's extraordinary life reads like a work of fiction, but the reality surpasses any novelist's imagination. Born in 1788 with a deformed right foot, Byron transformed physical limitation into legendary status through a combination of brilliant literary talent and deliberately scandalous behavior. The medical aspects of Byron's condition, known as talipes equinovarus, profoundly influenced his personality development. Despite painful corrective treatments throughout his childhood, including wearing special boots and braces, he developed an exceptional athletic prowess, becoming an accomplished horseman and swimmer. In 1810, he famously swam the Hellespont Strait, replicating the legendary feat of Leander from Greek mythology. Byron's psychological complexity fascinated his contemporaries and continues to intrigue modern analysts. His mood swings, now believed to be evidence of bipolar disorder, fueled both his creative genius and his notorious behavior. He maintained detailed records of his diet and exercise regimens, cycling between extreme fasting and binge eating, showcasing what modern physicians recognize as early documented cases of eating disorders in men. His influence extended far beyond literature. The Byron effect became a recognized phenomenon, where young men throughout Europe emulated his style of dress, his mannerisms, and even his legendary love affairs. He kept unusual pets, including a bear while at Cambridge University, protesting regulations that prohibited dogs, and his personal menagerie included monkeys, eagles, and a wolf. Number 2. Joy Milne. Joy Milne's extraordinary ability sounds like science fiction, but her nose has revolutionized medical research. A former nurse from Perth, Scotland, Milne possesses an unprecedented ability to detect Parkinson's disease through smell, years before any clinical symptoms appear. The scientific explanation behind Milne's ability reveals fascinating insights into human biology. Her extraordinary sense of smell, classified as hyperosmia, allows her to detect molecular changes in the sebum, an oily substance produced by skin. These changes occur in Parkinson's patients years before traditional symptoms manifest. The discovery of her ability occurred through tragic circumstances. She noticed a distinct change in her husband's scent 12 years before he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. This musky, unpleasant odor became her first indicator of the disease's presence. Scientists later confirmed her ability through controlled studies, where she correctly identified Parkinson's patients by smell with 98.8% accuracy. Medical researchers at the University of Manchester were particularly intrigued by her abilities. Through rigorous testing, they discovered that her nose could detect subtle changes in skin chemicals that indicate the onset of Parkinson's. This led to groundbreaking research identifying specific biomarkers for early disease detection. The most remarkable aspect of Milne's gift extends beyond Parkinson's. Recent studies have shown she can detect other conditions including tuberculosis, Alzheimer's, and certain types of cancer. Each disease, according to Milne, has its own distinct odor profile, opening new possibilities for early disease detection. Number 1. Gloria Ramirez. The case of Gloria Ramirez stands as one of the most bizarre and scientifically perplexing medical mysteries in modern history. On February 19, 1994, Ramirez was admitted to Riverside General Hospital in California, setting off a chain of events that would baffle the medical community for years. The extraordinary aspects of her case began immediately upon her arrival at the emergency room. Medical staff noticed an oily sheen on Ramirez's skin and detected a peculiar garlic-like odor. Within minutes, hospital staff began experiencing severe symptoms: fainting, shortness of breath, and muscle spasms. The situation became so severe that the emergency room had to be evacuated. The medical investigation that followed revealed fascinating possibilities. Scientists proposed that Ramirez's body had become a chemical reactor due to an unusual combination of circumstances. The leading theory suggested that her use of DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide, as a pain reliever, combined with oxygen treatment and electric shocks from a defibrillator, created a chain reaction producing deadly chemicals. The most compelling evidence came from blood samples that showed unusual crystal formations. These crystals, when exposed to normal hospital lighting and oxygen, potentially released toxic compounds including dimethyl sulfate, a powerful chemical weapon. This transformation of a human body into a chemical weapon was unprecedented in medical literature. The Riverside incident led to significant changes in hospital protocols and sparked new research into chemical reactions within the human body. 23 hospital staff members were affected, with some developing chronic symptoms that persisted for years. Bonus: Margaret Howe Lovatt. In the 1960s, Margaret Howe Lovatt participated in one of NASA's most unusual experiments, an attempt to teach dolphins human language. Her experience during this study exposed extraordinary insights into interspecies communication and raised profound questions about the boundaries of human-animal relationships. The experiment took place in a specially designed facility in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. Lovatt lived in a flooded house for 6 months with a young dolphin named Peter, creating an environment where constant interaction could potentially facilitate language learning. The facility, dubbed the Dolphin House, was partially flooded to allow both human and dolphin to coexist in the same space. The scientific aspects of the study were groundbreaking for their time. Lovatt documented the dolphins' attempts to mimic human speech patterns, recording subtle changes in vocalization that suggested deliberate attempts at communication. The project's findings contributed significantly to our understanding of dolphin intelligence and cognitive capabilities. However, the experiment took an unexpected turn when Peter began showing signs of emotional attachment to Lovatt. The complexity of this relationship challenged conventional scientific understanding of human-animal bonds and raised important questions about the ethics of such close contact research. The study's ultimate termination, due to funding cuts, led to tragic consequences. Peter, separated from Lovatt, showed signs of extreme distress and eventually died in circumstances that many attributed to emotional suffering, demonstrating the profound emotional capabilities of these marine mammals. This extraordinary experiment, though controversial, provided valuable insights into dolphin intelligence and the potential depths of interspecies relationships, while also serving as a cautionary tale about the responsibilities involved in such intimate scientific studies. And there you have it, 10 of the most extraordinary individuals who've ever lived. Which of these extraordinary people surprised you the most? Was it Tara Ray's impossible appetite, Joy Milne's disease-detecting nose, or maybe Kim Peek's incredible memory? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell to catch more mind-blowing content like this.